my name is Sydney Goldblum and this is my research presentation. A brief introduction: the coronavirus is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. Most people infected with this virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. However, there are many with underlying health concerns or those with weakened immune systems that have experienced a worsening of the illness and needed to be hospitalized to recover. It's mostly spread through droplets of saliva or discharge, which is why it's crucial to wear your mask, wash your hands, and to follow proper sneeze and cough etiquette. Besides the effects of the virus itself, this pandemic has had a lot of impact on everybody throughout the world. One of the groups that have experienced the greatest impact are the elderly or those over 65, as they're the most at risk. An interview study in France, the older adults discussed with them their thoughts on how their physical wellness has been since the pandemic has begun. They feel as though it's significantly decreased. They feel as though they're not only lonely, but they've lost a lot of endurance and strength. They're no longer able to attend group classes or go on group walks with each other due to a concern of being infected. For a lot of older people, their physical activity correlated with social activity, and now that the social activity is gone, it's a little bit more difficult to get out and do these things. Additionally, they feel less comfortable with technology to look up Zoom workouts and YouTube workouts. Mental health is probably the area that has experienced the most impact on wellness during the pandemic. Many people have ditched their office jobs and are now working at home on the couch or in their rooms, and it can be very stressful struggling the distractions of the home, whether it's pets, family, noisy work environments, etc. 22% of non-essential remote employees have trouble unplugging after work, 19% felt very lonely, and 40% said their mental health declined. And those who are unable to work from home simply lost their jobs. From March 17th to April 20th, 17 million people filed for unemployment. It's extremely stressful and very difficult on your mental health when it feels as though the world is falling apart and the last thing that you had was your income and your job, and you've lost that as well. All of these effects can exacerbate depression and anxiety and familial conflicts within homes. The study in Wuhan, China, found 41.9% of people with increased anxiety, 29.7% with increased depression, 20.3% familial conflicts during quarantine, and that can contribute to even more anxiety and depression. Additionally, being home can exacerbate eating disorder risks. Increased media consumption as well as increased use of video conferencing can lead you to develop a negative self-image and develop negative self-talk and allow yourself to compare yourself more. The specific exposure to harmful eating and appearance-related media is very difficult for those with eating disorders and can allow many people to develop an eating disorder. In fact, there was a 78% increase of individuals using the National Eating Disorders Hotline for help with new recurring symptoms or past symptoms that have been resurfacing. A major group that has been impacted during this pandemic is children. I feel as though they're often dismissed because them themselves aren't as vulnerable to the virus itself. However, they've experienced a massive change. They're no longer able to go to school, and they've been going to school online, and they no longer get to see grandma and grandpa and their friends. This can be very difficult as a young child. You enjoy social activity and can't always relate to your parents because they're much older than you. This isolation can result in avoidance behaviors and poor mental health. Oftentimes, children are dismissed simply because they're crying or cranky, when in reality, they just don't know how to properly assess the stress within their minds. The stress can affect learning ability, especially considering the fact that it's all online. They feel less inclined to pay attention, or it's much more difficult for them to focus. And they're not in a classroom anymore that can be geared towards focusing and learning. They're in their home, where it was once a fun place to either sleep, eat, or relax. Additionally, they have decreased physical activity, as a lot of physical activities that they did in the past were social, and now that those are absent, they've spent more time on phones, TVs, tablets, etc. This is just a quick video on how to help children cope with stress.
Children. Play. Encourage children to play and suggest activities to help them relax. Bond. Try to keep children close to their parents, caregivers, or family members. If separation is necessary due to hospitalization, quarantine, or isolation, try to ensure regular contact via telephone or any other available means. Routine. Establish a daily routine or schedule and stick to it as much as possible, especially in the house. Create a routine in which they can participate in household activities but also provide enough time to play and rest. Talk to them. Explain what's happening and provide clear information on how to reduce the risk of being infected by the disease. Be clear. Use words and phrases that are easily understood and age-appropriate. Calmly explain what could happen if your child or a family member begins feeling unwell. Let them know they may require medical attention or even hospitalization to make sure they recover. Remember, listen to their concerns, show them your support, and be there to reassure them.
On that note of coping, it's important that coping mechanisms are not only applied to children but to adults as well. This is a very stressful time for everybody, and a lot of people aren't taking enough time for themselves to recover and relax and properly absorb the world around them. A study has found with frontline healthcare workers who were extremely burnt out and overwhelmed that the way to have them relax and readjust to a more calm manner of mind was through meditation, mindfulness activities, a proper amount of sleep, 8 hours every night, a good support system, whether that's online or those with home, and proper hygiene. They all stress that a good shower or a good bath and some good moisturization can do a world of a difference for your health, mental health, and emotional health. Popular trends that rose during this quarantine would definitely be the biggest one, YouTube and Zoom workouts. People were able to work out at home. They could be adjusted to adapt with your lifestyle. For example, the image that I included is a low-impact, apartment-friendly workout. You could do it anywhere, and you can still work up a sweat. Peloton bikes were also super popular when the pandemic first started. Many people were buying these. That way they had a way to stay active despite stay-at-home orders. Additionally, home-cooked meals have definitely skyrocketed. It was less convenient to go out and eat anymore, and it was also more frightening just to go out. So a lot of people were refining their culinary skills and whipping up food in the kitchen, which is a very healthy new trend. How to stay healthy, in my personal tips and opinions, is make sure you challenge yourself. Go for a run or check out a new YouTube video or do a dance along or even play Just Dance. Just get your heart pumping and do it in a fun way. Try new recipes. There's so many online. You can Google healthy recipes and find 50 fun ones. Then you can all find ones that are budget friendly as well. I also think it's important to stay connected. Text your friends, call your friends, FaceTime them. Stay connected. I think it's a super optimal time for working out right now. They have telefitness. There's free, amazing physical trainer certified workouts all over the internet and all over on Zoom. All you have to do is push yourself to join them, get your heart pumping, and feel good about it. My favorite one I picked up during the quarantine is listening to podcasts. I think for me it feels a little less lonely when you're hearing people talk, and almost feels like you're in a conversation. And if you've been struggling with not having as much social interaction during this pandemic, this is a great way to feel a little more involved in something. Additionally, they're fun, or they can be really entertaining. My favorite, I included an image of Tiny Meat Gang, Cody Ko, and Noelle Miller. They always make me laugh, and listening to it makes me feel like I'm friends with them. Lastly, make sure you invest in yourself. Try out hobbies you want to try. Do things you want to do. Whether they're exciting or kind of quiet, do what makes you feel good. Health rates that have changed during this pandemic. For one, obesity rates. There's definitely been more weight gain, as a lot of people have been working out less and they're more close to food and snacking more often. Additionally, stress can lead to stress eating. There's a 20% amount of adults with obesity in all the U.S. states and territories. Additionally, there's been 4 times the amount of depression. In the United States, it's 24.3% of people reported symptoms of depression. Additionally, 25.9% reported symptoms of anxiety, which is 3 times the amount of 2019. Possibly in correlation with this, there was a 55% rise in alcohol sales in the United States during the pandemic. This is a reason for concern, as this may lead to alcohol abuse and addiction. People are struggling during this pandemic, and a lot of people may turn to substance as a way to cope. Overall, this pandemic most definitely has a lot of negative effects. I think it negatively affects people's health in the fact that a lot of people are depressed, anxious, there's been weight gain, people have developed eating disorders, people haven't been working out quite as much, and it's a frightening time, and many people feel, I think, overall lonely. However, I do think this has proven how crucial it is to take care of yourself first. Make sure you take care of your body and make sure you are safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your body strong. I truly think this reminds us how lovely and short life can be, and it's so important to take care of yourself. Thank you so much. Here are my works cited pages. Thank you so much.